Welcome back, everybody. It is the Working Brother. Yet again, we've got Joris De Draeck from Belgium stopping in to talk about all kinds of things. Joris, welcome back. Long time no see.
Long time no see, indeed. Exactly. How are you doing, Working Brother?
Excellent. I'm having a good day. It is very sunny and hot here in Belgrade. I have the blinds down and the AC on. How about you?
Same here. Actually, it's warm since this weekend as well. At this moment outside it's 33. I think Belgrade is more, right? It's going to be 36, 7.
Something like that. It's a bit more, but like I lived in Kuwait, so all these temperatures below 50 are a joke. Realistically speaking, I actually have a meme about it. Somebody made a meme because of one of my comments in chat, but I don't have it saved here, so we'll skip that. But now that we've done the niceties in weather, let's get that disclaimer out the way. This is a comedy show for anybody who's new here. Hi, welcome. Nothing we say has anything to do with reality. All right, now we can talk about all kinds of politics and stuff. Shall we start off with a meme? You sent this all along. Again, Zelia. Zelensky, the what was the name of
the shaman?
January 6th. Oh, shaman. Yeah, the shaman. January 6th shaman. That's what it was.
Well, actually, it's. I did send it to you, Working Brother. That's true. But what can you say about a stupid meme like this? Maybe Zelensky should be in jail as well.
Man, all I can say is that like this like whole the fact that you just reminded me that he was called a shaman, and we got to remember that this is the Democrat NED blah 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 funding USA type of thing, and the only thing it reminds me of is like the pagans that are in charge of our protests against whatever the hell they're against this week. Speaking of protests in Serbia, I saw like in Montenegro on one of these pages that I follow. There's like a bridge that was showing cracks, like a car bridge over a valley, and I was thinking they should blame Vučić, even though it's not the same country, but it's obviously his fault, because it is the way things are done.
Yeah, and I think you're absolutely right. Everything which goes wrong in your area in the Balkans, that's Vučić, and everything which goes wrong in the rest of the world, that's Putin.
I was gonna say, obviously Putin. Who else could it be? Yeah, let's not say that joke. Anyway, I'm gonna have to make a T-shirt. Leave a comment. Would you buy a T-shirt that says no comment? Because I'm planning to make some merch, and I'm gonna give it away to the patrons, and then I'm gonna give it away to some guests as well. But like, I think it's gonna just say no comment, because like if it says anything else, you probably get like attacked because of the liberal values that we can actually get into that. The liberals and the whole shifting of the paradigm, where the left has become centrist or even right, and the right has become more right, which is actually kind of left. And you wanna get into that?
Yeah. It's one of the evolutions I've been noticing for I think more than a decade now, where I really notice here in Belgium how leftist parties are increasingly intolerant of everything they don't stand behind. If you're not following the Green Deal, if you're not following the LGBTY evolution, if you're not following the COVID hypocrisy, etc., you're just cancelled. You're just being thrown out of society. You're labeled extremist. You're a castaway, and that is something which I can't relate to leftist ideologies, and still it's happening. While at the same time you have these right-wing parties who are saying, well, we want peace and we want equality and we want to make sure that the population is doing well instead of the companies, and that is something which I traditionally always adhere to as being a leftist kind of idea. And I used to vote leftist all the time, and I don't anymore. I just switched. I completely switched myself. So all these leftists calling me extreme rights, they're right. It was a self-fulfilling prophecy.
When do you think that happened? Do you think it was during? Oh, by the way, I forgot before we started recording. You can put your glasses on now to like play along. We forgot. We should have come in straight with that. That would have been good. Look at that! Like this talk just got much more serious now. Now people will be like, well, these two are blind as well.
Well, these glasses do make
not
me
only
kind of
racist.
That's okay.
So we were gonna say. Yeah, this whole political shifting. When did it happen, do you think? In your opinion, when did you realize that you and your views didn't really change, but everybody around you moved, to one direction or another?
I think it was more or less 2017 or something where I really was slapped in the face with it. And I went to a debate where all the heads of political parties in Belgium were discussing various topics. I don't know. It might already have been Ukraine back then as part of these topics. And you literally had them. So I was in an aula, and then they were on stage, and you had all these persons going from left. The most left position was obviously the leftist party, and on the right there was the rightist party, and they were talking, and the leftist party were really always interrupting whatever right was saying. They didn't listen anymore. They were just obnoxious and foul-mouthed and intolerant and whatever. And I said, well, you are behaving like a rightist. You're behaving like the people you oppose. And at the same time, on the other side, there was this rightist party, and I was always afraid of them because I was instructed to be so. And they were making sense increasingly. And then I said, well, actually, it makes sense. And that's when it dawned on me. And I had wanted to write an article about it, because if you're seated in the aula and you're watching the podium, left is left, left is there, and right is here. But if you're seated the other way around, you see what happens, right?
Yeah. It's inverse. Yeah.
It's inverse. It's a very plastical way, how you say it, very concrete way to look at it and to make that reflection. And if you have seen that kind of thing, how intolerant leftists are these days to any which opinion they don't adhere to, that's honestly, it's very, very far right reactions of them.
I'm not like a political scientist of any cadre, but remind me, the fans of nuts in Germany in the 40s with that failed painter, weren't they kind of left theoretically? Weren't they like vegetarians?
It was
anti-smoking.
Yeah, it was National Socialism. The Nazis they originated from leftists groups. So yeah, history kind of is repeating itself. It's true.
Speaking of history repeating itself and those fans of nuts in the 40s, we've got a meme here because this is a comedy show. Russia must immediately cease fire. That's the Reichstag. For those who are not,
it's so true. It's so true. It's like a reflection of complete Western Europe with the Reichstag in Berlin shouting, "You need to stop," because of what? Because actually, Western Europe is losing and Zelensky is losing. They are not to dictate what Russia should do at this moment. Actually, they never should have. They shouldn't have dictated Zelensky to fight on until the last Ukrainian, but they did. So I mean, I just say, just shut up, Zelensky. Behave. Well, go to the negotiation table and with a blank page of demands you have for Russia, because you're not going to get any.
his only demand could be that he gets the fair trial, quote unquote. Do you think we should have a Nuremberg
Trial.
2.0?
Yeah.
And do you think it should include everybody from Pfizer, or just everybody from the military-industrial complex?
Well, that'll be 2 trials. Now the thing is that obviously they will never happen. It's a joke even thinking about it.
Hey man, don't be like that. I have hope in Iran and China and BRICS and all these how can I say, anti-capitalist forces, and capitalist in the loose fascist term of capitalism.
Yeah. I see what you mean. BRICS, but they don't have an internationally recognized international court of justice, I think.
So it's not like the other one is actually recognized. First of all, second of all, it's not like everybody's a signatory. It's not like everybody's a signatory to the other one. And third of all, it's not like the UN is actually doing their job. So as far as I'm concerned, as soon as the BRICS gets their thing a little more organized, I feel like there's potential for a UN parallel to be created, which has more enforcement power, with special military operation rights.
I fully agree with that, and I fully support it as well, and I look forward to that happening. Because the West is delusional again concerning BRICS. They still think it's kind of like this fringe, small organization which is being built by Russia and so on. But I mean, they have about how much is it now? 55% of global GDP.
And 68% or something, whatever, I'm throwing numbers out there, of the world population. Forget the GDP, it's the population, it's like the European golden billion thinking they still have a chance.
Yeah, exactly. So and I don't know how it is in other countries, but when you have these experts here on radio and television, they're like professors and doctorates and whatever, PhD, and they don't know anything anymore. It's weird. It's scary and weird at the same time, so to say. But yeah, that's the state of affairs here. I hope in Serbia it will be better. I'm sure in Russia it will be better. But over here in Belgium, in Western Europe, it's dramatical.
I think Russia has the right path forward. Serbia still needs to swim out of the pool of garbage that it's been in for the last 20 to 30 years. And you guys need somebody to come in with a safe, a rescue boat to pull you out of the deep swamp that you are in. Quicksand maybe even, because we've got this here. Hopefully YouTube won't find this pornographic, but Denmark to remove pornographic mermaid statue, reports say. It's the wrong statue, by the way. Somebody in chat pointed that out. It's not
the wrong statue.
But you'd expect that from the Guardian, British journalism. What can you say? But in reality, it is the local quote unquote Muslims, quote unquote, because both of those things are debatable, that are pushing for these kind of how can I say, anti-cultural phenomena in Europe. How as a European, how do you react to the Sorosization of Europe?
we should never have let them in that that massively. It was, I mean, the way it started already in 2015. I was on a holiday to Romania, and I drove through Budapest, both going there and coming back. And going there, I mean, I've been there, I've stayed a few days, and well, it was all normal. Budapest, a large, beautiful city. And driving back, I heard on the radio, Budapest has been inundated by refugees, and they're everywhere, and blah blah blah. And I was like, that is some bullshit. That's impossible. It just is completely bonkers to believe that all of a sudden tens of thousands of refugees would find themselves in the center of Budapest, while they have not been noticed in Greece, in Macedonia, in Albania, in Serbia. They crossed about 5 countries. Nobody noticed, and they were all of a sudden were in Budapest. And then 2 weeks later, you had Merkel saying, "Wir schaffen das." And I was like, no, this is going the wrong way. And again, I mean, I think I said it in our first talk. Some things, people like us, we can really envision years in advance, and they turn out to be true.
It's because the Russians are telling us in advance what's going to happen. This is Russian propaganda, obviously, and you've been infected, and you should get vaccinated from Russian propaganda. Elon Musk,
mRNA vaccines, obviously.
Obviously, the only kind of vaccines that don't do anything and are called vaccines. Elon Musk shared this. I'm getting breaking news here. Breaking Le Pen's RN party has smashed their all-time polling record this month and is now leading Emmanuel Macron's party by 18%. So we have breaking news. This is on the 12th of the 8th of the far right extremist French. I don't know what else to call them, but yeah, they're leading in the polls. What do you make of that?
I think that would be excellent news, and well, going back to what I just said about 10 minutes ago, I think the rightist parties are more leftist than the leftists are at this moment. So in a few years ago, about 2-3 years ago, I was working with Frenchies, and there were these presidential elections coming up, and I said, you make sure you vote Le Pen. And they were like, oh, no, not Le Pen. I said, it's going to get worse and worse and worse with Macron. And well, again, I mean, I think people are finally starting to see that Le Pen wouldn't be that bad, but it's not Le Pen. It's because Le Pen is in jail; she can't run anymore, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway,
I don't think that's finalized. I don't think they went through the whole process. But she's being lawfared into not being able to run again, which is, we realized the one of the main tools of the political new age left.
Like Georgescu in Romania, or like how we wanted to manipulate Georgia, or how we manipulated Moldova. I mean, it happens everywhere. How we want to manipulate Germany.
Stop telling me this Russian propaganda, man. You've been listening to RT. Can you even get access to RT where you are? How do you even watch this Russian propaganda?
I mean, they're knocking on my door.
But seriously speaking, this whole narrative of censorship in Europe, how is Belgium with regards to that? Do you actually have access to RT? Like, if you go on YouTube, can you find it? Can you find it on Telegram, or not really?
No, not really. No. We need to. I need to VPN it.
So you're as free. You're as free as Spain is.
Yeah, exactly. And again, I mean, find me one article of the last 15 years where in any which mainstream Western newspaper speaking well of Russia and of Putin. Only one. I mean, just give me one. It's a question I often ask, and then nobody. Well, you know how people react. They can't give it, so they get all defensive or aggressive.
I have I've never experienced this. I don't know what you're talking about. Like people getting aggressive because of politics? No, man. You're imagining things. It's the narrative that Putin is telling you. Regarding violence and crime, I got a quote here by Lieutenant Colonel Jeff Cooper. If violent crime is to be curbed, it is only the intended victim who can do it. The felon does not fear the police. He fears neither judge nor jury. Therefore, what he must be taught is to fear his victim. That's just
I'm not
something
sure
to think about.
if I can say anything reasonable about it.
All I can say is that I'm a lot more pro-gun than most of Europe.
Well, I'd even say equally so. I'm certainly not opposed to the gun laws in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Why does Europe even care what laws there are over there? And if we care about laws, why don't we care about the laws in Ukraine, which are being violated continuously? Their constitution says explicitly, the use of Russian is allowed, and then they have this 2019 language law, which I have on my website. This 2019 language law, which is which forbids Russian in every which case. So they're going in against their own constitution. Nobody cares. We're so selective in our outrages, aren't we?
When you mentioned the law, this is what came to mind immediately. 15,000 tons, the equivalent Hiroshima. 20,000 tons equivalent of Nazi bombing of London. 85,000 tons equivalent of the combined efforts of the GAE, Global American Empire.
Yeah.
And nobody says anything. You know what I mean? It's just keeps going on. It's just in the background always. It's like
no,
I don't.
It's Israel. That Gaza question actually is a very interesting one. I find it immensely fascinating to see how the masses, which are uneducated, as we both have
established,
established. They are against Israel and they are pro-Gaza. In this case, everybody is aligned. I'm pro-Gazans. I'm anti-Israel. Anti-Israel certainly with what they're doing.
Time out. You don't even have to be pro-Gazan or anti-Israel. You just have to be human and be anti-genocide. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's not like the genocide that the Serbs did in the 90s, which we didn't do because those people are still alive and they're still living there. It's more like the genocide that, like, you know, the no Germans did in the 40s, only it's on steroids and it's like live streamed and it's like run by AI.
All correct. Now, the remarkable thing is, this is one topic where everybody is aligned. Every normal human being is aligned. And I've always found it a bit fascinating. But I've also always said, well, that's the easy thing to do. If you want to show yourself as I'm anti-establishment, right? You just say, well, I stand with Gaza, and then you're anti-establishment. You follow them in everything else. You follow them in the green agenda. You follow them in LGBT. You follow them in the Russia hysteria, in the anti-Trump thing. But
you're saying like the typical leftist who is like just masquerading and like using it as a human shield, literally, to like see like all my other what's her face, Greta, who recently decided to fight against corruption in Serbia for some reason. She stopped by the way, in case you missed that news. She was here. She was here to fight against corruption in Belgrade for whatever reason for a day, and like when her videos went public, she was already in Bosnia. And in her video here, she was saying how, like, you know, she had just visited Greece and Macedonia and Kosovo and is now in Serbia. And we're like, no, lady, like Kosovo is Serbia. But yeah, so what you're saying is basically that these people's narratives are hiding behind, I support the people of Gaza.
Yeah. No, they think they're protesting and they're doing something good, and they are doing something good by only picking that one topic. But they fail to see the larger implications on a global scale with how we're dealing with Russia and how we're dealing with Trump, who is kind of a peace bringer. I'm honestly, I am disappointed a bit in Trump, but he's better than Biden, and he's better than what Kamala would have been. But it's too easy, and the thing is, it doesn't bring us nowhere if you only say, I stand with Gazans. You're right to do so, but please open your minds for other topics as well. And that's what I find. Yeah.
I don't know. I think, listen, there's this whole like narrative shift with the whole Palestine issue and Israel being the occupying power and, you know, violating X, Y, and Z, and like also committing genocide live nonstop. But yeah, anyway, so there's this narrative shift, and my perception is that like the general public has shifted like their awareness so far. Like it's gone beyond, let's say, 30-40% of the general public who are in support of Palestinians against what Israel is doing, or maybe even against the state of Israel completely, as in like its right to exist. The mainstream media and the like talking heads and the Tucker Carlson CIA daddies of the world all saw this happening and decided like now is the time that we need to talk about this, otherwise people will not give us any credit for anything. It's kind of like what you're saying that the lefties are doing when they support Gaza, but they also support, you know, other not so humanist ideas. So what I'm getting at is, do you think this is a genuine like awakening of people's let's say sympathy and empathy towards the Palestinian struggle, or do you think this is very manicured, what we're seeing in press? You know what I mean? And like, you know, where we are seeing people break away from the mold, because we understand that all media is, you know, controlled by the Chinese Qataris. And that's a joke, by the way, from another comedy show. there was two Asian hosts who...
Could you say so? It wasn't clear, it wasn't joke.
So the Chinese Qataris are controlling all the media, and our narratives, and even maybe our government officials. So with all that in mind, how do you see this like shift of narrative and consciousness that's going on?
I unfortunately I don't see any shift. I think this Gaza topic will always be the Gaza topic, as singled out and as a means for mass outrage, selective outrage. It's good with Gaza, but people, as long as they keep on believing every single word the press is writing, nothing substantially will change. There'll always be standing with Gazans, which is correct, which I support, but it will always remain with that topic as well. So I don't see any major shift in enlightenment of the masses' minds. See what I mean?
Yeah. Unfortunately, I have to agree. Basically,
that was not a joke, by the way. That's almost my feeling.
Yeah, unfortunately, I have to agree. I don't see much change, and I don't think I don't think many people are going to wake up that easily. Or actually, it's not even about waking up. It's about like gaining the humanity to realize that you have to like look at all these kind of details beyond the narratives. You sent me while we're talking, I just saw it now, this article that you wrote about Ukraine's language law, a definite analysis.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, a while ago, I took the time to read through the complete language law in detail. And I also took into account quite a lot of other laws, Ukrainian laws. Now, the thing is, you might immediately wonder, well, do you speak Ukrainian? Can you read it? And no, obviously I can't speak Ukrainian and I can't read it. But all these laws, and this is quite funny actually, all these laws are published in Ukrainian and in English, but not in Russian. 30% of the people speaks it there. And the 30% of Ukrainians have Russian as their mother tongue, and the laws are not even translated into their mother tongue. Now, I can compare it to Belgium because it actually is. It's quite similar. Our laws. Belgium, we have actually three communities, right? We have the Flemish community, which is about 60%. We have the French community, which is about 39%. And we have the German community, which is about 1% of total Belgian population. All our laws are translated into three languages, but it doesn't happen in Ukraine. And that actually, it goes against their own constitution, and nobody speaks about it.
You're just racist.
Yeah, and I'm so indoctrinated by the Russians. It's true.
You're even citing like European laws. You crazy Russian propagandist. Let's see what else we have here. Not this. Let's see. Just in case you who are not subscribed to me on Telegram missed it. A couple of days ago in Serbia, we found under a construction site a 500 kg bomb from those lovely Germans who left it to us a long time ago.
It's a nice present. It's a nice present. We find lots
like a time capsule.
Here in well.
It's like a time capsule, like when we were in high school and they told us like to put things in,
and then open it.
Right. It's a time capsule with Nazi characteristics.
Exactly.
No, seriously speaking though, I wanted to you were gonna say what you keep finding them also in Belgium as well.
Yeah, we do. There's quite a lot of World War I and II era bombs still being found here in fields while farmers plow their fields. They just pop up from time to time. It's actually standard. I think it's at least multiple times a year.
I'm saving memes here in the background that you sent along so that I can open them. Oh, why does it always continue opening here? Anyway, so what else have we got here to talk about? We're about 30 minutes in. That is okay. Oh, yes, DeepSeek AI. What is your take as a computer professional of sorts, IT specialist of sorts, about the AI thing that's going on everywhere? And in this case, Drago Bosnic, a regular guest of mine who is on vacation, asked DeepSeek, the Chinese AI, about Russian Iskanders, those missiles that we did many episodes ago on, and it knew more about the less published advanced versions than it was funny because Drago was amazed at how much not so public information. It was it was able to like get back to him immediately. The Chinese AI, DeepSeek, not the other one. And
Okay.
then it made a joke. Every time NATO panics over a hypersonic test, the Chinese programmer adds another mock to the simulation. Every time the West censors the truth, the Russian hacker unblocks it with a VPN from Belarus. And every time Serbia stands firm, the multipolar world grows one Iskander closer to victory. This is like DeepSeek making jokes. What is your take on the, how should I say, permeance of AI into our modern society? And what does your intuition tell you about where this is going?
We're in for many surprises still, to say the least. We're not prepared. Many people will lose their livelihoods eventually, including me, maybe as IT. I'm not a programmer, but well, certainly programmers, they are already impacted. And we're frankly, we're not prepared because we can't carry the overhead of many people becoming unemployed. Now, the DeepSeek thing, and that DeepSeek would know more about Russia than the Western AIs. You could maybe be explainable because the DeepSeek is being trained with Russian sources as well, and it would not be, well, the Western ones would kind of avoid the Russian sources, or
that
certainly
doesn't make sense.
not.
That doesn't make sense considering you can't even get to any Russian sources, and like it would make sense that their AI is like, fenced off from accessing Russian propaganda. God forbid, Gronk starts spewing.
I have in the past sometimes, well, and I think many of us have, but I have done it about Ukraine. Ask ChatGPT, so who's to blame here? And obviously ChatGPT goes, hey, it's Russia and it was unprovoked, and blah, 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 yada, yada. I said, well, you're not taking into account this and that and that and that and that. And then eventually ChatGPT starts saying, well, okay, I see where I'm wrong and where you're right and blah, blah, blah. I said, okay, all good, fine. Are you learning something from this? What are you going to say if you get the same question from somebody else? And it does answer me, yeah, I'll probably take into account your answers because you taught me some valuable knowledge, but I seriously doubt it.
So it's stroking your ego. It sounds like it's stroking your ego and giving you like platinums just to pass off the quote unquote forensic.
Make me feel good and make me feel good. Full stop. Yeah, it's just flattering me. But I mean, AI is disruptive because people believe what it says all the time, and it does make a fair amount of mistakes. I have this.
Are they mistakes? Or are they features?
I have this hobby of mine, which is a home lab. I don't know if you heard about it, which is configuring various servers and home automation and whatever. That touches upon Nginx and proxying and VLANs and settings, servers and Dockers and containers and whatnot. Many of these technologies I'm not too familiar with, so what do I do in this day of age? I asked ChatGPT and Grok, and I have often found themselves going into a loop, and you can't get them out anymore. They keep on rehearsing the same thing, which fails, and you can tell them it fails, it doesn't work. What you say is not a good solution, and they just run around in circles all the time.
I actually saw some post somewhere. I can't I'm not a journalist. I'm just a comedian, so I just see things. I don't record them or provide sources. But I saw somewhere that it was saying that like they were asking, like they did, some scientists, some university did a test with the AI engines, and I think ChatGPT was being used in this case, and they were asking it like a simple yes or no question. That like the obvious answer was yes, and they found that 60% of the time, or more than half, in other words, I don't know the exact number, but more than half of the time, it would provide the wrong answer on purpose to see basically how you'd react, and then like you said, it would be like, oh yes, but because you said these things, then it like it's true, and I'm sorry, and like, can we still be friends?
Yeah.
So yeah, that doesn't seem like a bug. It seems like a feature. Also, I wanted to ask you, do you remember Clippy?
I do.
And
Lovely.
have you heard of the new movement? Have you heard of the new movement to like put your profile pic to be Clippy, so as to send a message to all these AI companies that we don't want to like give our information, and we don't want these AIs to be cloud-based. We want them to be local and open source, and actually there to help us, not there to how can I say, farm data or manipulate people, either or.
I've not heard about this.
The Clippy movement.
Yeah, no, about Clippy. Obviously, I have heard about them, and I have even heard about Operation Clippy, which is to ask Clippy back to Microsoft. That's an old one. That's about 15 or 20 years old, I think. But yeah, about AIs and making them open source. Well. It will never really happen, because there will always be powers at play. And well, if you ask me, then maybe the most open source one would be the Chinese one, DeepSeek. I mean, I'm pretty sure you've had others say it before, but I also trust the Chinese more than I do the Americans at this moment. I trust the Russians more than I do the Europeans. Don't laugh, that's not a joke.
No, I'm just laughing because this might be the last recording we have, and as soon as it goes live, they'll be knocking on your door. Like,
yeah. Well, it was a pleasure. It was a pleasure.
I don't know how understanding they are of humor in Belgium. I just hope that they understand that this is all like, comedy. Nothing you said has anything to do with reality.
Exactly. True.
Just to prove that point, here's a meme that was sent in by chat, rocket science, washing the dishes, and it's a meme harking back to the fact that the Russians are using washing machine parts to make their rockets. So by extension, washing clothes is rocket science.
Yeah.
high level humor right here. This is the worst comedy show on YouTube for a reason. We've got another one here. Ukraine this was also sent into chat. Ukraine is trans winning. It doesn't matter if they've lost territory or suffered unsustainable losses. Ukraine identifies as the winner in this conflict, and their feelings are valid. Soon Ukraine's pronouns may change to was, were, but we must remember just how stunning and brave they were. I think I have a pop-up for that. There we go, 404. What do you think the real geopolitical future of Ukraine is? Do you think they can hope for an independent Lviv Croatian Nazi state, or do you think even that is beyond reality?
No, I think that will be absolutely the probably the worst possible, at the same time best possible outcome for Ukraine. Okay, we're 2 days ahead of this big meeting between Putin and Trump, right? It's going to be very interesting to see what comes out of it, because Russia is winning, as we all know, and they're winning fast and they're winning hard, and they have broken through. Only
losing. You have to learn the language of YouTube. They're losing forward, and Ukraine is winning by retreating. Please understand. This is how things are happening.
I'll try to remember it, but bear with me. Russia has nothing to forward lose. By giving in to Trump or Zelensky's demands. So either they Ukraine accepts their their retreating
backwards. No, they're winning backwards. Winning backwards,
or there will be nothing left at all for Ukraine, except for maybe this Galician part in the west.
Do you think
landlocked? Because if Trump and Putin don't agree on something really specific, which, well, eventually the Europeans and Ukraine agrees to as well, and this war goes on until next year, then Ukraine will lose Kharkiv, Dnipropetrovsk, Mykolaiv, Odessa, a few other regions as well, and they'll be landlocked eventually.
I think Zhytomyr as well, and they will be landlocked for sure.
Yeah.
Do you think that like we're recording this on the 12th, it's not going to be uploaded before their meeting, so this is all going to be retrospectively us pondering on what's going to happen. Do you think that Ukraine is the main focus in reality, or do you think that there is some Arctic deal and some Gaza, Middle East peace process solution? I don't want to call it final, but
I think the main reason why Trump and Putin convene is not because of Ukraine, but it's unclear what it would be. It's going to be some kind of a cooperative deal, I think, where Russia does ship goods to the States, because Russia has many things which the States needs, and I think it's more to do with that. And I think Trump has and Witkoff have explicitly stated, well, we're looking to signing a deal concerning resources.
Mm-hmm.
And Ukraine is just, well, they'll talk about it.
Item 17, huh?
Yeah. Well, something like that. Item 5, not the top of the list, but also not the bottom. It'll be important, but I think if it would be only Ukraine, I don't think Putin would have said, yeah, okay, let's meet, because there's nothing concrete on the table. And leaders, they only meet when they sign stuff. So
you think things are going to be signed? You think so, huh? You think something's going to be signed, though?
Something will be signed, yes, but nothing about Ukraine.
I think you may be right. Let's put it that way. I don't think Ukraine's going to finish this year or next. I think Ukraine might end up going to Paris, but we'll see what happens with that. Hopefully, you guys in Europe can stop that from happening.
Ukraine might go the way of the dodo.
That's one way to put it. Yeah, the way of the dodo. I've got the final meme for the second talk. How to politely tell someone they're stupid. Wisdom has been chasing you, but you have been faster.
That's actually one. That's a still image of my favorite cartoon, which I've seen a couple of times with my kids.
What cartoon is it? I'm not recollecting it. It seems familiar, but I can't.
It's a Nickelodeon cartoon from end of the 90s or early 2000s, named Avatar: The Last Airbender.
All right. I've seen the memes. I don't think I've seen the cartoon as a kid.
Yeah,
Mr. Dragon.
It's really good, even as an adult.
There we go. Cartoon recommendation.
Exactly.
Is
For
there
free.
anything
Just thrown in like that?
just like that, right at the end? For the people who stuck around all the way to the end, is there anything that you would like to tell people about? I don't know how you feel when this will go live and the police will be on your door.
How I would feel if that would really happen, the police at my door. In a way, I've already thought about this, not because of our talk now, but because of I do know some persons who are being tracked by Belgian security services, and I have already thought, well, what would happen if they would start knocking here? And I think I would be the same as I am now. I would be, well, I try to be honest and polite, and try to negotiate with these people, explaining these workers, because they're just employees as well, that they're on the wrong track. Well, chasing people like me. I'm not the extremist here. We are not the extremists. We are not the ones calling for the destruction of Ukraine for years now. We actually have been telling everybody, telling everybody, as many as we can reach, make Ukraine sit down on the negotiating table. Don't supply it with weapons. Don't support it financially, because if we stop doing that, this war would be over very, very soon. And we don't. We just keep on shipping weapons, and we keep on saying, well, keep on fighting. We are, you and me, we are not the ones calling for the destruction. We are calling for saving Ukraine, and we are calling for making sure that what's left of Europe's economic prowess, and it's not a lot anymore, but what's left of it, that it can be safeguarded. We are not the extremists here. Actually, we are the ones, the rational thinkers.
I think you should go to your closest EU representative and tell them that your views are out of line, and just save yourself. Get back with the flow, man. You sent this along. I forgot to pop it up, so there's extra two memes that you said. This was too good. I bet I can make CNN say shit 100 times tomorrow. No fucking way, dude. $5.
You ever seen this one?
It's highly likely. It's highly likely that this will happen. And people, don't forget, you're seeing Russians everywhere.
Yeah.
Joris, thank you again for stopping by. It was an excellent 2 talks. We will definitely do this again.
I am willing to always repeat it. It's been fun, yeah.
Excellent. Good to hear. I hope everybody enjoyed our little talks here. Leave a like and a comment, and don't forget to share it with your friends who like really terrible political humor. I know it's a really small crowd, but maybe some people. And yeah, see you again soon. Joris, ciao.
Yeah, working brother. See ya.